I mean, you can see shades of Bend It Like Beckham in this, and just in the sense it's a notion of a teenager finding their way into a passion through which is from the Western world.
Yes.
And I was just wondering, and obviously that's where the kind of conflict then transpires in their family life. What is it about this particular theme that appeals to you?
Well, it's what I know. It's my home ground. It's my territory. I love that world where kids have one dream and parents have another dream for their kids. And that area in the middle is where I like to create the drama and have the negotiation so that they can both see each other's point of view. For me, that's real drama. It's very touching, it's very moving. But I was worried about the repetition with Bend It Like Beckham, which is why I left it at quite a long time. It's been 17 years since Bend It Like Beckham. But with Blinded by the Light, the reason I picked it up again to make it my next film after Viceroy's House was because timing-wise Brexit happened, and when that was announced there was this sort of unleash of xenophobia around us, and I was really upset that people felt they could get on buses and start shouting at elderly black women who'd worked in the NHS for so long, and those sort of incidences. It was a breakdown of society as I knew it, and it was happening here in London, and it upset me so much that I thought I've got to do something about this, and that's why I picked up the script and started working on it as a reaction to what I was seeing around me. And of course, those events of 1987 are extremely resonant with what's happening around the world today.
Bend It Like Beckham also had an impact on the British Sikh community, and you've said you hope this will have a similar effect on the British Pakistani community. Do you feel a sense of responsibility as a filmmaker to make movies with a purpose that can have impacts on communities and different societies, particularly those you feel close to?
Well, I've done it before, obviously. Bend It Like Beckham has the only record of the only movie in the world that has been distributed in every single country in the world, including North Korea. It's the only film ever that's done that. So I do appeal to lots of people and lots of communities. But I think that, yes, obviously, I want the community that the film's about to embrace it. And luckily for me, I've seen that. There's been great reactions from people. But I think ultimately what I am is a global storyteller. And I do believe the more culturally specific you are, the more international you are, and the more universal your story is. And even though it's about a 16-year-old Pakistani kid from Luton, I think that kid could be from anywhere, and indeed was from New Jersey in the 70s, and his name was Bruce Springsteen, So I think that people around the world will resonate to the father-son story, the idea of a family in struggle, the idea of poverty, the idea of a kid having a certain dream and parents having to come round to his way of thinking.
Was it quite a challenge to mix all these themes together? Because, it does tackle racism, and it tackles kind of quite deep, quite profound family issues. Yeah. But at the same time, there's a kind of warm tenderness to this movie, which is a film about a coming-of-age story about music and stuff. So how was it kind of that kind of conflict of the quite serious themes in this, which are very important to the story, combined with the feeling of hope and the quite light touch that the music provides as well?
Well, I think I can do that because I've experienced that. Yeah. When you experience all these different things, you're able to talk about them in that kind of way. I can go from a very serious subject to a comedic subject very quickly because that's what my life is. Sometimes when my parents were subjected to racism in the shop, because I grew up in a corner shop, my dad would then suddenly turn it into lightness with a joke after. And so, that is what our lives are. Our lives aren't determined and defined completely by racism. We have loving families and we have a lot of joy in our lives as well. So it's when you make a film from the inside out, you're able to juggle all these different elements, I think, and that's why I go from one to the extreme to the other effortlessly for me.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey You